Hello, hello again. Welcome and welcome back. My name is Eric. This channel is called Report and Opine, and I'm here with a little Hump Day edition. Little Wednesday evening update. And I'm gonna need you to check back with me. I'm gonna need you to check back with me every Wednesday evening and every Sunday evening to see what I'm gonna be rambling about. I'm gonna be very disciplined. I'm gonna be very consistent. I'm gonna be like Tim Pool with hair and a day job. So check back, subscribe, tell your friends, comment, like, whatever it is, whatever stuff that YouTube people say, do all that stuff. We're gonna kick it up a notch, right? Really try to make this happen. And today I want to talk about corruption in California because there's loads of it. It's been going on for many years. And I'm sure it's happening all over the country, but it really rings a bell with me. It really resonates with me because I'm from the Bay Area, and it's gotten so ugly. It's disgusting. There's poop and needles and all sorts of stuff all over the place. It's been like that for at least a decade, right? But how did we get here? How did it get so bad, right? And of course, today we heard about how Jussie might face consequences. Last week we heard about how Hunter Biden is being investigated by some of these GOP senators. Now, neither one of these guys will probably ever face any real consequences. That's just how it goes. But they throw us a little bit of red meat, like, look, we're gonna try to enforce the law this time. All right, we'll see. Put your money where your mouth is. We'll see. I hope something gets done, but I'm not gonna hold my breath, right? But what's happening in San Francisco is so awful. I think these politicians have some stake in the drug trade. I think these politicians have some stake in the drug trade, right? They're flooding the streets with drugs. They're breeding these weird leftist zombies who think it's all normal, and they call you a racist if you just question it for a little bit, like, maybe you want to pick up the syringes? That's mean. I'm clicking around, I'm watching YouTube, some of my favorite creators, and you see these crazy videos, these crazy leftists, these weird Antifa people screaming at people, literally cleaning up the streets, cleaning up the alleyways, washing away the poop, picking up the syringes, and they say it's stigmatizing the homeless. What? What about the people that pay taxes? What about the people that go to work? Not just the people that work at Twitter or at Uber, at Facebook, but the clearly shrinking middle class. But I digress, right? So we got Pelosi at the head of it. She's obviously awful. Shiv, Swalwell, all these guys, people, Shim, Z, Zer, right? I want to make sure I use the right pronouns, be all inclusive to the Californians. But these people are completely ruining the state. Now, I did speak briefly in one of my last videos about Muhammad Nuru, who was recently arrested for taking bribes. He was arrested at a sports bar for taking bribes. Apparently, they were bribing him with free booze and meals and a tractor. Free food, expensive booze, and a tractor is enough to bribe the head of the San Francisco Department of Public Works, right? So the guy who's charged with cleaning up the streets, the needles and the poop and the pee and sweeping away the tents and all the bums sleeping on the sidewalk, he was arrested at a sports bar for taking bribes. So that's how this all works, right? So in that indictment, or in that paperwork, I guess, those investigators claim 5 things that Nuru and his accomplice James Bovis are doing. So there's an airport scheme where they were doing some shady things to open up a chicken restaurant. I don't know, passing this money back and forth under the table, whatever it is, to open up a chicken restaurant at SFO. Now, if it's a Chick-fil-A, I might be on board with that, but my guess says it's not. Some B-grade Popeyes or KFC or something, probably. Anyways, there's also a mixed-use development scheme going down in downtown San Francisco. There's also the Transbay Terminal scheme. There's also the bathroom and homeless shelter scam. Now imagine that. San Francisco is world-renowned for its sidewalk poop, and these guys are scamming on a sidewalk bathroom, right? Like, you're already bending the knee to these bums by installing bathrooms on the sidewalk, but you're crooked in even doing that, right? That's how bad it's gotten. And then there's also the vacation home scam, which I think they were Nuru was sending city workers 3 hours outside of the city to help work on his vacation home or something weird like that. Read it. There's going to be loads of links in the description. So check it all out. This man is facing 25 years. And as I understand it, the extra 5 is because when he got caught, he said he was going to cooperate and didn't. And he's like, all right, I'm going to keep it quiet. I'm going to let you guys do your thing. Keep going up the ladder. Find who you find. Who knows where this might lead? But he didn't do it. He called up. He's like, oh, man, they pinched me. You guys better watch out. So who knows who this Nuru guy is answering to and why San Francisco is so dirty. Right? So there's sanctuary cities. There's needle exchanges. They're pushing for safe injection sites. Now, fun fact, I hear that San Francisco gives out 4.45 million needles a year. Why would you give away that many needles unless you had some stake in that drug trade? Answer me that. Right? This is beyond regular corruption. Like, we're just going to pocket the tax dollars and not clean it up. No, I think they're doing something a little bit more than that. But what do I know? Real tinfoil hat stuff here. So let's go back in time a little bit and start with Gavin Newsom. In 2007, he was then mayor of San Francisco. Now, this isn't pure, unadulterated corruption, but it's a little taste of why it gets like this. So in 2007, as mayor of San Francisco, he admits that he's an alcoholic and goes into some sort of rehab. He also sleeps with his friend and campaign manager's wife. So that's the depravity we're dealing with here. Right? So imagine that. This guy admits to being an alcoholic, sleeps with his best friend's wife while they're all married, and you expect him to run the city properly. He's now the governor of California. They're trying to recall him, but that's a different story. All right? So that's what we're dealing with here. Then we've got, in 2015, Mayor Ed Lee, who was wrapped up with notorious Chinatown gangster Shrimp Boy Chow. Now, Shrimp Boy Chow, I think, is serving consecutive life sentences for a handful of stuff, and Mayor Ed Lee is dead. He collapsed at a grocery store. But Shrimp Boy Chow, in 2015, pointed the finger at Mayor Ed Lee, mayor of San Francisco, and said, he's corrupt. Now, what do you have to be into for a notorious Chinatown gangster to point the finger at the mayor of a major city and say, he's corrupt? Now, whether he's corrupt or not, whatever, debatable. He's dead, so it doesn't really matter. But you were doing something. You guys were in bed together doing something, and you might have had a falling out. So there's that. Then we also got Leland Yee, senator from California, who was gifted all these awards, gun control advocate galore, you know. We're really going to take the guns off the street. He was arrested and sentenced to 5 years in jail back in 2016 for running guns. Now, he's probably running drugs too. That's what I'm saying. That's the point of this. But he was arrested and put in jail for running guns as a #1 gun advocate in the Senate out in California. They think we're all so stupid. They think we're all so stupid. The corruption is through the roof. At least this guy got a little bit of time. He faced some consequences. We'll see what happens to Nuru and the rest of them. Anyways, moving on. We also got Libby Schaaf, the mayor of Oakland, California, who was notorious for saying that she's going to warn all the illegals when ICE is coming. Right? Like, you know, really out there like, you know, like a little dope boy on the corner like, yo, the cops is coming. Yo, run. Like, come on, bro. Why would you not? Dude, you're the mayor. You're the mayor. You should want everybody to pay taxes to help fix the city, unless you're getting money another way. Just saying, right? Then we have Barbara Garcia, who is she was the health director in San Francisco. The health director in San Francisco. And in 2018, Libby Schaaf's thing was in 2018 as well. I don't know if I mentioned that. Anyways, Barbara Garcia, the health director out in San Francisco, had to step down from her position because she was caught shuffling deals to her wife. Now, I don't know if it gets any more San Francisco than that. A corrupt lesbian. And the health director. So she's supposed to be looking out for people's well-being, right? Not to mention like Nuru getting the syringes off the street, but looking out for, you know, making sure people stay healthy. I don't even know what it consists of. Maybe writing some weird bills about how, you know, everybody's got to go vegan in San Francisco or something strange like that, and she has to step down. Lucky her, they asked her if she would resign, and she did. So she still even got nice, subtle, kid glove treatment on that one. And that's what we're dealing with. A San Francisco corrupt lesbian. And then we have Ed Riskin, whatever. He was the head of the SFMTA, the Muni, the buses, trying to keep everything moving. Now, he wasn't arrested or anything, but he was fired for a long list of horrible things. This man was getting paid $400,000 a year, and he couldn't seem to do anything right. He bought a fleet of buses before telling the assembly or the city council. He's like, guys, we got to buy these buses. These are the best ones, not realizing that he already paid for them. They're sitting in a warehouse across the bay. Then there was a 10-hour electricity failure one Friday, not that long ago, so I'm sure a lot of people probably remember that. 10 hours, that's more than your workday. So imagine not being able to get to and from work because this guy can't keep it together. Now, PG&E probably has part of that too. We know how bad they are, along with Jerry Brown back in the 90s, but that's for another video. That's old school corruption. That's vintage. That's late 90s stuff. We've only got back to 2007, but anyways, moving on. There's a video that went viral of him. There's a video that went viral of a woman getting dragged by a Muni train because of some malfunction, and he didn't cop to that. There's also this time where he cut service to do repairs and didn't publicize it at all. So imagine you just go out to the bus stop one morning thinking you're going to get to work, and it's like, oh, repairs happening. You got to walk 2 miles that way and get on a different bus. Didn't tell the mayor's office, didn't publicize it at all. Why would he not do that? Why wouldn't he? What are you thinking, bro? What do you have to gain from this? You obviously lost your job. But I'm guessing you gained something somehow through this. Who knows? And then there's also the time where he tried to force the drivers to work overtime, and they're like, nah, bro, we're not going to do it. Now, I'm not huge on unionizing and all this groupthink and stuff, but that's what they're there for. You want them to work overtime because you can't keep it together, and, there's all sorts of things in their contracts, and you just want to break it. And, also, he was caught hiring unqualified drivers who didn't know how any of the levers work. Just wing it, bro. You'll be all right. It's a bus. Drive it like a regular car. Whatever. You guys are crazy. You guys are absolutely insane. He also said that, Muni was underfunded and the trains had bad brakes and all sorts of things. It's like, of course it was underfunded. You need more money. We just need a little bit more money and then it's all going to go away. We heard that before. We know how that movie ends. Just give me a little bit more. You guys are chasing a dragon. It's not going to work. Then the most recent bit of, maybe, I won't call it corruption, but it's sheer craziness. The district attorney of San Francisco, Chesa Boudin, who is the adopted son of Bill Ayers, who was part of the Weather Underground. Now his real parents are still in jail, I believe, for some weird domestic terrorism in upstate New York, I believe. But and I don't want Chesa to pay for his father's sins, but I'm sure they were pumping him full of weirdo stuff to think about. And now, as a San Francisco district attorney, he says he's not going to prosecute quality of life crimes. And he's going to decriminalize homelessness, I guess, right? So he's not going to prosecute blocking the sidewalk, sleeping in tents, peeing on the street, shooting drugs out in the open, selling drugs out in the open, prostitution. These things are all wrapped up. Why would you want that unless you are profiting from this illicit drug trade? I can only imagine, right? This is not normal. But under the guise of tolerance, they will have you believe that if you question any of it, you're a stone cold racist and you're a bigot and you're stigmatizing the homeless and all sorts of things. Watch some of those videos. I'll drop some links in the description, of course, of the Antifa protesters, or I don't even know if they're Antifa or what you call them, just stone cold crazy people protesting a street cleanup. How far removed do you have to be to protest some people who come to your town and help you clean up all the crap off the street? It's insane. So that's it. That's all I got. Check back every Wednesday, every Sunday, and please have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening.